So today in this video, I am going to go over and answer the question of, is a heterosexual marriage sustainable once you have realized you're a lesbian? Welcome to the Late Life Lesbian. My name is Emily Better. I am a late life lesbian myself and the late life lesbian life coach. So for me, what does that mean? I was married to a man for 11 years. We had a son together, but during this time, I ultimately realized that I was a lesbian. So we ended up getting divorced. I came out and I'm now remarried to a woman. And on this channel, I help other women going through this journey and process as well. Now, I have been talking to quite a few women recently, and this sort of question and scenario has come up a lot. You know, women have realized that they're lesbians or have fallen for a woman or realized that they have feelings for another woman while they are currently married to a man or just even in a relationship with a man. But they're wondering and questioning, is it sustainable? Because let's go through this too. One of the routes that people go with this is to more so open up their marriage. There are some women that do come out and tell their husbands how they're feeling and what they're going through. And they make the decision to open up the marriage so that they can maintain the marriage and the relationship that they have and they've built, especially if there's kids involved and things like that, but that they can also explore and experience and be who they are as a lesbian or as, being interested in a woman. And a lot of women end up struggling and questioning and wondering, is this sustainable? And my answer to that question for you, based on my own personal experience, as well as knowing all of the women that I've worked with, that I've spoken to, my answer to that is no. This typically is not sustainable long term. Maybe a year, maybe a couple years, maybe a few years even. Some people can make all of this work. But long term, I personally do not know of anybody who has made this work. If you have, please leave a comment below. I would love to talk to you. I would love to know how long you've made this work. I would love to know how exactly you navigate this and how exactly it is that this works for you and all of the people involved. Because, as I said, from my own personal experience, as well as talking to many women that have gone through this, I personally do not know anybody who has made this work long term. And let me kind of discuss this with you and share some reasons why. So I definitely believe that for a lot of people, this is a stepping stone and just part of the journey, because many of us go through, or many of us still love and care about and want to honor the marriage and the commitment and the relationship that we had with or have built with our husbands. But then there's this other side of us that ends up realizing our true sexuality, or getting feelings for a woman, or realizing that there has been something missing in our lives, and suddenly we put it together that it's really about our sexuality. And we may still love and care for our husbands, but there's just something missing. And so again, the fix of this seems to be opening up the marriage and the relationship so that you can maintain the marriage, but explore who you are. We've kind of gone over that. Why this doesn't typically work long term is because it often just gets very messy and complicated. When you start bringing other people into, not even necessarily into the relationship, because if you're doing it separately, but still there are additional people that become involved, and you are messing with emotions, and emotions are sensitive and fragile and can be intense. And so typically, these are kind of some scenarios that can play out. One, your husband may be okay with it initially, but then once he realizes that you're starting to get very close and intimate and connected with a woman, this is when you might start to see some jealousy and some insecurity and some different things come up, because once it actually becomes a reality, it can often be a lot harder to deal with than just thinking about it in theory. That's sort of one scenario. Maybe that's not the case for everybody, but that's one scenario. The other scenario of this is, let's say you both open things up and you both start to go out and meet other people. Usually at some point, one or both of you end up meeting and connecting with somebody that you want to be with more fully, that you develop some very strong feelings for, and start to think and wonder and question, about building a life with that individual. And so, like I said, whether it's your husband who ends up meeting another woman, or I don't know, maybe another guy, maybe he's opening up to things too, but he meets another individual that he connects with and ends up realizing he wants to build more of a life with. Or same for you, you meet somebody that you connect with and want to build more of a life with, and then you continue to feel this pull and this struggle between the marriage and the commitment you have with your husband and this other individual. It's another scenario that typically ends up leading to it not being sustainable long term. And then finally, the other aspect is the other people that become involved. There are some people in this world, it takes all kinds to make the world work. And there are some people that maybe they are okay with it. But on their end too, a lot of times people that you become involved with end up wanting more of you as well. How does that work? How does it work to live in a house with your partner, but then also want to share a life with this new person? And then this new person too, wanting you to be there with them, wanting to build and create a life with you. Same if your husband were to do that. What about the person that he may connect with? How are they going to feel? What are they going to want? Are they going to be okay long term with you two continuing to be married, but just sort of being this addition to the marriage? This is where things get messy and things get complicated and emotions get high, because you start working with multiple people outside of just you and your husband, and everybody has their own wants, needs, desires, expectations, perspectives of the whole situation, and it often just becomes really difficult to juggle and manage and to maintain. So things to think about if you are going through this. I clearly will not fault anybody for trying to make this work. Like I said, I feel it is often a necessary stepping stone to get to your true destination. This is just what I have experienced in my own life, as well as with what I've heard working with other women who are going through this. So, and again, as I said, if you are in this and you have been making this work long term, I'm going to say long term being definitely more than 5 years, probably closer to getting closer to a 10-year mark. And I would definitely be curious to know how you're making this work, because I do know that there are things that can happen in this world and it takes all kinds, like I said. I don't know of anybody personally. So please reach out, leave a comment, visit my website, thelatelifilesbian.com. You can contact me there, find me on social media, because I would love to hear from you and know how you have made this work and what this has actually been like for you. So I hope that this helps. I hope it gives you some things to think about as you're going through this. And if you are struggling in this situation with knowing what to do, just some things to kind of process through and think about long-term for your future. If you are needing any additional support or some guidance as you process through all of this, check the links in the description below this video for my website and community and support program that I offer. And you can always reach out and connect with me on social media. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe and get notified whenever I make new videos. And I'll see you in the next one.